Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and I'm here today to work on my double bank envelope for Dear Julie Julie's June challenge. So I've got a piece of my beach house scrapbook paper. My paper is only 8 by 8, so I'm having to work with that, which is fine. I'm just having to rethink some sizing things. And I'm going to use this. I'm just going to get started. I've been having a really difficult time getting started on this. I've got my cover underway, but I've been having trouble. I think I'm having trouble limiting myself to 15 items and determining what 15 items I want. Okay. Now, the double bank envelope, I printed some of the sheet music from the At the Beach kit on the reverse side of the scrapbook paper. The double bank envelope, just in case you don't know, is an envelope that folds pretty much like this, and we'll make a flip up here. We'll leave this side open and this inside open, so you can put a tag or something down in there and then slide something in here, just like you would for a bank envelope, where your bills would go here and your change would go down in here. Now, normally you would have a flap up here as well to fold over to protect your change. And I think for mine, I'm going to say the flap has been cut off. Only because normally when I put a tag on the inside, the flap serves no purpose anyway. So for this time, I'm going to say my flap has been cut off. So I'm going to cut. I know I want my envelope to be about 6.5 inches tall. So I'm going to cut my paper down to 7 inches, and that helps me get rid of that white space up there. Okay. But also leaves me 1/2 inch at the bottom to make my closure. So now I'm going to pull out my scoreboard, and first I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to score it across at 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to make 2 score lines for where my envelope will fold. Mine this time is going to be a little different in that my front flap is going to be slightly larger, than my other 2 flaps. So my paper is 8 inches wide. I'm scoring at 3 1/8. And then that leaves me just under 5 inches. So if I go 2 1/2, then when I fold this over, then that will become my inside flap, and probably can't see my score line, but it keeps the paper from being right in the gutter. And then this one, I'm doing a horrible job of explaining this. And I think that's because partially because it took me a while to figure out exactly how I was going to do this. And even at that, we'll see if it works. Okay, that will become my inside flap. My outside flap is going to be larger this time. So now, just so I can see it better, I'm going to fold and score my bottom line. And I'm going to cut just above my fold line to the fold. I think I actually went a hair shade over the fold. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And cut that at an angle. And cut this one at an angle. I feel like my brain is all over the place today. Okay. That should work, and that should work. So then that bottom edge will fold up to create the closure on my envelope. Yes, that is what I want. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to glue this piece of paper that has the shells on it right down on this larger flap. So I'm going to pull my glue stick out, my glue book out. And we're going to get glue happy. Okay. Now let's see if I can get this lined up. That ought to work. Pull out my card and okay. Yes. Now let's see. Before I forget, no, I'm going to do this first. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I'm going to fussy cut around the shells. So I'm going to pause the video and so you don't have to watch me fussy cut that, and I will be right back. All right, I've got my image all fussy cut around, and I inked around the edges a little bit. Shock of shocks, I'm actually not using vintage photo this time. I'm using my antique linen just to do some edges and stuff, and anywhere that I might want to get rid of a little bit of white space. So the next thing I want to do is on this inside flap. I want to I need it to curve up a little bit, but I don't want anything too straight. We are talking about, in this journal, the beach and the ocean. So I'm going to take my pencil and very lightly give myself sort of a crooked guide so that I don't cut too straight. And I'm not going to be precise about following it. Anything that's left over, I can erase. All right, now let's give that a bit of an edge. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and quickly edge everything so I can see what I've got. I should have done that before I turned the camera back on, but I didn't. But I am kind of excited. I've got a new craft mat coming, and I'm kind of excited about that. You know, I've got my glass mat that I absolutely love using, but I mostly love using it, well, okay, actually I love using it for just about everything, but it gets slick. Stuff slides around, so on and so forth. And lately I've been doing so much cutting that I had my cutting mat out, which is great, but my cutting mat has been so well loved and well used that it's not really very smooth anymore. So I've got a new mat coming that I will use for crafting, keep my cutting mat for cutting. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I mean the cut lines in this are just atrocious. And I've had it for years and years and years. And more years. Okay. So I like that. I know I'm wasting time, and I apologize. I'm not trying to grunge this as much as it's kind of a grayish color, but it's kind of a cool gray. And the sand, as we know, is nice and warm. So I'm just pulling out my antique linen distress oxide to see if that gives me a little better coverage, which I think it will. Okay, yeah, that warms that up a little bit. All right. Okay, yeah, like that better. Okay. Now, with most bank envelopes, it would fold like this, and the flap there. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to put my fold here, but I'll actually glue it here. I don't want my shells covered. So just like that. Now, I've got a piece of scrapbook paper that I put a piece of, I've got cut-offs from my digital prints that I'm saving that I'll be using to back my tags and stuff, or at least some of them. So I'm just going to use my tag punch and make this little tag. And it's way too long, which I knew it would be. Let's cut that down about there to see how that does. That will do perfectly. Okay. So I want to round these corners. Doorbell just rang and Boogie is going nutso. Bug. It's all right, buddy. That was the UPS guy dropping off some of my medical stuff. Okay, enough of that. So that little tag can go in there, and I will embellish this later. And then maybe just something like that. That would give me my 2 inserts. I will embellish this later. I'm not going to embellish it right now because, like I said, I'm having a hard time doing anything because I feel like I have to get my exact 15 items. Well, I know I'm going to be using digital kits, and I know I'm going to be using my scrapbook paper. So I figure for now, just get started. Just start. And this is just a card from the Dear Julie, Julie at the Beach kit. So there you go. There is my double bank envelope. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know what you think. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And until next time, be safe, stay healthy, and happy crafting. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.